Hello, my name is Bob D. Hilster, and I am a Christian who happens to like science. Today's video asks the question, do you obey the law? This is some previous videos I've made for the group called Christians Who Like Science. For example, have you ever asked the question why? And do you know where the sun is? You might find them interesting if you have not watched them. Here are some laws. There's the law of the land, which are the collection of traditions, customs, statutes, usages, and laws of a country that apply to everyone, including the government under the jurisdiction of its courts. It's also referred to as the legal system. And there's moral law. Moral law is a set of universal rules that should apply to everyone. Ethical principles held primarily by the followers of Christianity have influenced the development of U.S. secular law. As a result, Christian moral law and secular law overlap in many situations. Way to go. That's a very positive influence on our country and our people. And there's scientific law. From Wikipedia, a reread, in science, the term law has diverse usage in many cases. Laws can be very approximate. They can be very accurate, broad in scope, or very narrow in scope, only applying to specific things. And they cover all kinds of fields in natural science including physics, chemistry, biology, geology, astronomy, and even a study called etc. And these laws are developed from data and can be further developed through mathematics. This is one of the things that bothers me a lot about mathematics, because you can do legal mathematical changes in the area of mathematics itself. But when you simplify an equation, you get rid of some terms that changes that equation. It no longer represents the physics, just the mathematical value. But in all cases, they are directly or indirectly based on empirical evidence. That is, empirical evidence is data, information gathered from data, experiments, measurements, observations. Laws can be developed from a theory and are often considered more valid because there's a theory behind them. However, a theory is only a suggestion and may not represent reality. So many of our equations that are very useful are empirical equations, including Newton's equation for gravity. What about the laws of nature? Well, this may surprise you, but I couldn't find any. I looked all over to get a good definition of laws of nature, as opposed to scientific laws, man-made laws, whatever. The references I found generally talk about science developing laws to help describe nature without ever stating that these laws even exist. My point, laws of nature don't really exist. You can't find any theory, any principle or equation that exists in nature. Reality has to do with something that is physical that I can grab onto, and these are not. One scientist said, I was listening to a Brazilian physicist over a teleconference, and he said, light obeys wave theory. How does light obey any man-made law? How could that even happen? I didn't like his statement, and I typed in the chat room. It's an area in the teleconferencing feature that you have that people can type in comments while the speaker is talking. If he knows about the comment, he can even respond. My comment, I said, no, light does its own thing. It doesn't even know about Maxwell's equations or Maxwell's theory of light. This is scientific arrogance when scientists say light obeys wave theory, and wave theory, as in Maxwell's theory of light, is a man-made theory. Nothing I write is ever going to, nature is never going to obey anything I write. And here is well, you might see this on a t-shirt in Facebook or wherever. It's from this link. These are Maxwell's equation for light. And this is rather insulting to us Christians. It's trying to bring God down to a human level. And God said, 4 equations. These are Maxwell's 4 equations. Okay. It's arrogant and it's demeaning to our Christian God. Well, did God have laws? In my opinion, it's my opinion that God did not use laws to create the universe. So man's attempt to find the laws of nature are futile. But God did give us his laws. You can't find them in nature either. God had to write them on stone so that we could see them and read them and obey them. He also wrote them on man's heart so that man would know right from wrong, even if he never heard or read about them. We have no excuse. Well, what did God say? In Genesis 1, verse 1, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Verse 3, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. No equations, no assumptions, no experiments. God just said it, and it was good. What did God create? God created objects which are real. The heavens, all the stars and whatever we see in the heavens and the earth are real. Light, sun, and the moon are real. Plants and animals, humans, Adam and Eve, all of these specifically told to us by the Bible. And after God created these objects which are real, it was good. Obeying the laws. Which laws do you obey? Law of the land, moral law, God's law? We're all guilty. Every one of them. One way or another, we probably offended all 3 of those. We are guilty. Man has a free will and can disobey any or all of these laws. Does nature obey the laws of science? No. Not one bit. God may have used laws to create the universe or not. Maybe they're there. God doesn't tell us. God tells us he created objects. But the Bible is clear about this point. God sustains and controls the universe. And does he do it by equation? I doubt it. I doubt it one bit. But we know in Joshua that God can stop the sun in the sky if he wants. God can change things like that if he wants. No, we don't always obey the law. Nature doesn't necessarily obey natural laws. They actually obey what God and how he controls our universe. My name is Bobby Hilster, and I am a Christian who likes science. Thank you for your attention.